Welcome back, everybody. The UFP presents the unfunniest podcast. Officially, Mike, we are now a media conglomerate. Now, UFP Media, is that what you want to call us now? I think conglomerate.
Sure. Why not?
So, episode 28. Mike is happy as all get out that the Lions won today.
I don't know if I'd be calling myself happy by any stretch of the imagination,
No,
but sure.
we'll get
Wow.
back. We'll get into it. We got a lot to talk about today. We've been off for the last couple of weeks. We've had some special things with high school sports with Bob Patterson. But what
My
we
real career and job have taken over some of my, well, not some of, most of my time in the past few weeks, to say the
I mean,
least.
God forbid, Michael, you want to have a house, you want to have a family, you want to have a car, a boat. Well, what kind of
Mm,
life do you really want?
all the above.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we're now kind of getting into the nitty gritty. Some of the, we'll talk a little bit about, obviously, talk a lot about the Lions today, the NFL. We'll talk a little bit about college sports because what is really happening in college sports, nobody knows. To me, we'll talk.
The game next week,
Yeah, we'll talk.
next Saturday. Here we
That's
go.
true. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Yeah, because Michigan State playing Maryland at Ford Field. Right, the game. You're exactly right.
Yeah. The game that's forcing the high school playoffs finals to go to Sunday instead of Saturday, which is an abomination in and of itself. But
Exactly. So
sure.
let's get started right off the bat. Lions just finished up their victory, beating the
If that's what you want to call it.
hapless Giants of New York. It's any given Sunday. You can say that in the NFL. Giants have obviously won 2 games this year. Quickly,
The
2 things.
Giants
Number
have
one,
hold on. The Giants have won 2 games this year. They're also in their second game with their interim head coach. They fired
yeah,
Brian Daboll
yeah,
2 weeks ago.
yeah.
This is a rudderless team, the New York Giants. This is a team that actually they've been in some competitive games. They've
Mhm.
had some fourth quarter leads that they've given up. So they've certainly been competitive. But again, for one of my themes that I like to go to in this town, for some reason, this fan base, and I think it's starting to you wouldn't think this happens, but you start to look at this team and you start to think that this team listens to the fan base and listens to all the hype. This
I
unprepared, it's almost not describable. I'm not the biggest Lions guy in the world. I've sort of been adopted into it, I guess you would say. Obviously being a lifelong Browns
yeah.
fan, which is in and of itself, but these predictions this past week, again, people calling in to the ticket, 49-0, 52-7, 55-0, 49-14, 35-7. I mean, seriously, does Dan Campbell let people listen to that and then they just go out and lay an egg? So we weren't on last week, and I was ready to go off on the Eagles' loss last week, which clearly, in my opinion, was a Dan Campbell and a coach's loss without a doubt.
Yeah.
And then he gets on his post game, and then he comes on Monday as well, and he says, "Hey, listen, it was one of those games. We were off. We clearly have a few things to clean up, but at the same time, we're only a play or two away from greatness." You follow up that with this crap? That was despicable. They looked unenthused. They looked unprepared. That first quarter was effortless. They looked like they were running around the field. Once again, zero pass rush. Once again, no tempo on offense. The drops, St. Brown's drops, J-Mo's drops. I mean, it befuddles me. I don't know that I've been more frustrated watching a Lions football game than I was this afternoon.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I was pretty calm sitting in my recliner.
Did you fall asleep and take a nap?
No, I was certainly taking notes on things to talk about. But I mean, I guess I was in that first quarter, and I'm sure you probably can relate to this too. I almost looked at it as it was a classic playing down to an opponent, right? Where, okay, the Giants aren't just going to come into Ford Field and roll over. They're going to play football. You could tell the way that they were playing on defense, the way they were tackling. That was the one thing I noticed about the Giants. I don't know if you noticed this or not. Their tackling was phenomenal in the first round and the first quarter of that game, the first half of that game. There was very little yards after catch, yards after first contact that the Lions were getting. And that's where I kind of looked at it and go, all right, well, this is clearly a 2-9 football team that's not going to play like a 2-9 football team. And I guess to their credit, right? But again,
They played hard.
but they did. And you just kind of thought to yourself that, okay, the Lions are going to wake up here. Okay, the Lions are going to wake up here. Hello, Lions, are you going to wake up here?
Yeah.
What the are they wake the bleep up? Hold on. Up.
Well, I said it after, and I texted the group chat we had. I texted after they got the ball back. What were they down 3 in the fourth quarter or 7? I can't remember what it was. And I said, okay, well, here's maybe where they kind of take out. Here's where maybe they do it. And no, it was a 3 and out. And it was
Well,
pathetic
that
how they
was
did that.
yeah, that was the okay, and this is clearly a point of contention with me, and I'm sure you guys laugh at me in these text messages about my because I go off and I basically maybe they're making notes on what to talk about, or
Yeah.
B, I'm just venting my frustrations. But this, St. Brown had 2 drops in the first half of this game this afternoon.
He
And
had
in
2
the
drops
second
last year.
yeah, he's had multiple drops this year. He gets a first down. He does the stupid ass, pardon my French, first down. Shut your mouth and get back in the huddle. You had it was a 3rd and 12 play, and Goff delivered a perfect pass to him, and he drops it. And then he had another one where Goff, and there was the one that he went right off his hands. It was an interception, and he's got the kahunas to celebrate a first down. I understand celebrating a touchdown, but these guys are again. This goes back to one of my original rants. You're celebrating first downs. You're getting your ASS kicked by a 2-9 football team. I don't care if it's St. Brown. I don't care if it's JMO. I don't care if it's whoever it might be. You guys
Yeah.
have the gonads to start celebrating. Are you kidding me? That's on Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell needs to get a better handle on this team in terms of control, discipline, and I'm sure he tries. Here, the JMO thing last week, I was going to go crazy about the JMO penalty
Yeah.
last week, jumping
Oh,
on the
yeah.
field goal or on the
Yeah.
goalpost. Really?
I didn't
How
know
many
it
times
was I didn't know it
your
was a
team
penalty. He
huh?
honestly he said, "I didn't know it was a penalty."
You know what? If he doesn't know it's a penalty, that's on him and that's on
Mhm.
Campbell too, right? Because you should be having
Yeah.
conversations as the head coach of, okay, no jumping on the goalpost. Let's
Yeah.
keep our celebrations to within the rules. Okay. Even today, what is JMO? What's Gibbs doing when he bursts that one run? He finally gets to the 5-yard line and he almost stops and
Turns
walks into
backwards.
the end zone.
Yeah.
I almost threw something at the TV. I'm like, what are we doing? What
You know,
makes you think, yes, go ahead. Getting
I'm gonna
fired up.
say I can give him a little leeway because Gibbs is more Barry Sanders than he is Jameson Williams or, not Jame than J-Mo,
He is,
because
I agree.
I think it was more frustration, like, it almost seemed like that as the frustration for him versus trying to showboat or do anything else, but
Yeah,
needless to say, I
good
agree with you,
point.
I do agree.
Could be.
Yeah,
I just this showboating. I mean, let's be a little more businesslike. Everybody
yeah.
wants to talk about, well, this team in 2023 went to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, and they
Okay,
lost
first
in
of
the
all, that
second
means
round last year.
yeah, right. That means absolutely nothing. It means 0. I don't care. It's no credibility. It's no showmanship, anything. To your point, they lost in the first round last year. Not only did they lose in the first round, they got their ASS's handed to them by a rookie quarterback, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I gave it to you.
Jaden Daniels, okay? Because you strutted into that first round playoff game in Ford Field and you thought you're going to wipe the earth with the Commanders. Didn't happen.
Yep.
So now you continue this again this year where this it's a very disturbing trend. And so it's funny because I was listening to the broadcast in the first quarter and what's
By the
his
way,
name?
could we get different announcers? I'm sick of Albert
Kenny
and,
Albert.
I'm sick of those 2
Well, this is
and
the
Jonathan
last 1
Vilma.
o'clock game, so
Yeah,
that's for the rest of the season. So it's not
yeah.
going to be there anymore. But he was
There's
talking about, well, the Dan Campbell teams since 2022 have 54 straight losses followed by a
a
win.
victory.
Huh? Okay, right. I understand that. So this team came out in the first quarter, in the first half of this game. Hell, I'd argue most of the game with the mentality of, well, we just don't lose 2 games in a row, so we're just going to
We'll find a way.
go out
Yeah,
loud.
yeah. They were clearly looking ahead. They were looking ahead to the Packers.
Maybe
There's
I'm more of
no
a
ifs, ands, or buts about
yes,
it.
agree. Okay, so here's what I was going to say, and I was texting you guys this. They lose this game with the Pack and the Bears both winning. They're not making the playoffs. So
Nope.
they're still in it right now, but
Yeah,
they still have
they're third place.
quite, huh?
They're third place.
Yeah. So listen, I think wow, Shador's actually playing pretty good for the Brownies right now.
He still got a pick.
He's got a pick, huh? Yeah, I know he's got a pick. He threw a pick. No, so okay, so let's look at the rest of the season, right?
Mm.
So let's go game by game really quick. Packers at Lions this Thursday, Thanksgiving. By the way, it's not 12:30, it's 1 o'clock. Did you see that?
Why? Because then you
I
got
do.
overlap with the 4 o'clock game. Give me
Yeah.
12:30. It's a half hour. It doesn't make any difference.
Well, not only okay, so well, actually, I'd argue it does. It makes a difference because what does everybody do at about probably 3:30, 4 o'clock
Nap?
on Thanksgiving? Well, not only that, but eat, eat,
That's true.
eat, eat Thanksgiving dinner for crying out loud. So again, I'm not going to go off and rant about that. I do think that the Lions will win Thursday. I honestly feel that.
Mhm,
I kind of wiffle waffle back in my head thinking about that as this game was going on, but I do think that they will win. Whether they won or lost this game, I do think that this was a wake up call. It should be. Dan Campbell should be in that locker room right now. I'm not saying he should be screaming at them because they did win the game, but there should be, in my opinion, very minimal, if any, celebration. It should be, gentlemen, we are back to work. This should be a wake up call. We don't take anybody lightly, whether we're at home or on the road, whatever it might be. We got
mhm.
the pack in 3 days, 4 days, whatever it might be. Let's get to work. Period. End of story. Move along. So let's say the Lions win against the pack, which I do think that they will on Thursday. The Cowboys come to Ford Field the following Thursday night. I think that is a win. So you are now at 9-4. So you are now in clear control of your own destiny at that point, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. Do you agree?
Yeah,
They
I
win
think
both
so.
Thursday games. I do think that. I do not see them winning at the Rams on Sunday, December 14th. That's a 4:25. It's a late game. It's on Fox. That'll absolutely be the game of the week. So you're going to have Brady there calling that game. I think that's a loss. I think that's at 9-5. They come back home on Sunday, December 21st against the Steelers. I think that is a win. That puts them at 10-5. They go on the road to the Vikings. I think they win that game. You agree?
Yeah, I think so. That's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, right?
That's Christmas Day. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
4:30 game.
I mean, let's put it this way. I haven't seen anything about J.J. McCarthy outside of when he played the Lions that tells me he's gonna do anything.
No, I don't. And listen, I do think that the Lions do have a propensity for a little bit of a revenge game too. I think Dan
Yeah.
Campbell uses that as as a motivation factor. So I do think that they'll go to Minnesota and beat the Vikings. The Vikings look a little discombobulated.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy is that is going to prove to be a rather ignorant draft round pick, I think. He doesn't look good, man. He doesn't look
No,
good at all. He's not reading defenses. He's not reading defenses. He can't make the passes. I mean, he's
but he's
sailing passes.
meditating. But he's meditating in the end zone, and
Yeah,
he is.
whatever. Or he just doesn't know what the other team's going to do. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow, was that a shot at Jim Harbaugh in Michigan? No, not at all.
Nope,
Not in the least.
none.
So, anyways, so that puts them at 11-5,
Exciting.
and that puts them the last Sunday of the season, which will probably be flexed, I'm guessing, to Sunday night, I would think,
Up against the
right?
Bears? No, well,
Against
no,
the
they
Bears.
won't have a night game. There won't be a night game that day.
There won't be a
If
night
I,
game that
I
day?
don't think there's an 8 o'clock start at last game, but we can double check that. But I think
Yeah, it's
it's
TBD right now.
yeah, the time
The way
zone.
the
Yeah,
the way the Bears are playing, the way Ben Johnson has the Bears playing, I'm not saying there's some all of a sudden there's some dynasty franchise by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Lions lose that game. I really do.
could very well.
I think that puts the Lions at 11-6. So the Bears, let's look at the Bears real quick, right? So let's look at the Bears who won today. Let's see who they got. Chicago Bears who beat the Steelers today by a score. No, wait a minute. Bears and what? The
Bears
Bears.
beat the Steelers.
Yeah, the Bears beat the Steelers. I don't know why it's not on here. Why is it not on this? It's weird. So let's go to the Bears. Let's see. Scores. Where is their schedule at? Wow, it doesn't even have that game on here. How weird is that? It skips from 11-16 next Friday. No, they play next Friday at 3 o'clock. Oh, that's right.
Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. All right. So the Bears are now at, let's see, 8-3, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Bears are now at 8-3. So the Bears are going to go to on Black Friday.
I think they're going to beat the Eagles. Just a guess.
No. No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think they're going to beat the Eagles. So they're 8-3 right now. That puts the Bears at 8-4, correct? The Bears travel to the Packers. This is a tough game. I
Mhm.
don't know how to judge this one. as far as I'm concerned, it's a toss-up. I mean, that
Yep.
might be a 1-point spread as far as I'm concerned. So let's just say, in theory, let's play for devil's advocate. Let's say the Bears go into Lambeau and beat the Packers, which is a very good possibility. That
Hmm.
puts them at 9-4.
Hmm.
The Bears then go to the 49ers. I think the Bears can go. That's a tough game. I don't think they're going to beat the 49ers. Okay.
No.
That puts them at 9-5. The Bills go to, or I'm sorry, that was, and then that's the, yeah, on Sunday, 12/28. That puts them at 9-5, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's probably the Lions game, that last game of the year to decide the NFC North.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we could go game by game with the Packers too, but that's,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not going to do that.
No,
So,
I don't think it's going to
anyways,
make a difference.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna make a difference either. I do
No.
think, like I said, I think that last game is gonna come down to, it's gonna come down to the Lions and the Bears in the final game of the season. I think that
Yep.
is absolutely what we're gonna see. I think the Pack is gonna kind of bow out of it a little bit. That, yeah, 31-28. That's right, they won
Yeah.
31-28 today. So
But yeah, I mean, the Steelers, made a game of it in the end, but it's still there. A couple more takeaways, Mike. By the way, from the
go
Lions
ahead.
game, I kind of want to go for is when it comes to the offense. There's just they played Washington, which was a fluke, in my opinion. The way that they scored on every possession, literally every possession except the last one. And I think you just can't keep that kind of up. And you're also playing a really defeated Washington defense. So I don't think that's as big of a deal there. But the problem to me is still that offensive line up front. You're
Oh,
gonna
there's no doubt.
they have to bring up you got to bring two or three more offensive linemen in. To me, Decker's going to retire at the end of this year. That moves Panay Sewell to the left. So he's going to be learning a new position there for the early term next year. Then you need to bring in a new right tackle. You've got to bring somebody in at center because Glasgow, once again, I said at the beginning of the year, I said it before the season began, Glasgow is a great backup in the NFL, an
Yep,
awesome backup, but he
not a
is
starter.
not right. He can play almost all five positions if needed. And to have a backup offensive lineman that is more than serviceable in all five of those positions, that's incredible.
Well,
And yeah,
should okay, so let's talk about the offensive line real quick, because I think last week kind of reared its ugly head even more. Today did, to maybe a little lesser extent. I think they did a little bit better job of protecting Goff. This is going to fundamentally change this team, though, because what they love to do, they love to go for it on fourth down. They were what, 0 for 5 last week
yep.
on fourth
They didn't
down.
even go for it once today.
They didn't go
They
for it
should have a
once
couple of
because they were
times.
really not, they weren't within striking distance of going for fourth down. They had to
No.
punt. It was fourth and 9, 4th and 12, 4th and 7, whatever it
Yeah.
might be. But to what you're talking about with the offensive line, this is going to change. It has to, unless Dan Campbell is that big of an idiot where he doesn't care, because now all of a sudden, with a depleted offensive line not being able to block and or not being able to block for the run, your percentage of making fourth downs goes down significantly. So that's going to have
Yeah.
an effect going forward, about toward the end of the season, and then, God willing, they make the playoffs. So it has to. It's going to. He has to be able to adapt. Yeah. By the way, how about that Jake Bakes, the Panthers? Did you see
How
the ball?
that
It was like,
it
are
was a
we outside? Did
knuckleball.
the wind blow from the west to the east and then back from the east to the west
It
all of a
was a
sudden?
knuckleball. That ball just fluttered in.
As soon as he let it go, I told Bobby, I'm like, oh my God, he missed it. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, wow, it came back. Holy crap.
Yeah, they opened up the doors in Ford Field and they pushed that ball over.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I think,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, though, I missed a stat I was going to talk about earlier. Vic Fangio, of course, the defensive coordinator for the Giants. He has engineered 3 of Goff's worst passing efficiency games in his career. So I guess there's something.
The Dolphins game, I think the Dolphins when they were overseas, I think one of them
Yeah,
was with he was a defense coordinator for Dolphins then.
Dolphins. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that played into it. Still, no excuse. The rest of this
No.
team again. Yeah, I mean, so again, back to what I was talking about with the whole going for it on fourth down and everything else. I mean, the more kicks that that makes increases Campbell's confidence in him, which
Yeah.
will alleviate some of the, do we go for it, do we not go for it. One of the other things, this is funny, I made a note last week thinking
Mhm.
maybe we w're going to be able to sneak in between my travel of one of the episodes. I was listening to the radio and some idiot called in and says, I can't wait till next week when they beat down the Giants because Dan Campbell's going to lay into him and be mad about this game. I'm like, well, that didn't travel very well now, did it?
No. No.
You know,
It's the NFL. These guys all get paychecks. They're all paid to play.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about too is going into that last game with the Bears. It's Chicago. It's the Windy City. It's going to be cold. So there was a lot of talk about Goff wearing both gloves last week. He's worn two gloves before, and actually the last time he wore the gloves, I think it was in Chicago, and he had a hell of a good
Yeah.
game. So as a quarterback. Now listen, I did not play college, nor clearly did I not play in the NFL. But as someone who likes to throw a football around, as we all know,
And someone
and can
stayed at
play,
a Holiday Inn Express.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear people that talk or try to guess, gloves on, gloves off. It's all about the day. It really is. It's all
Yeah.
about, how warm it is, how cold it is, how windy it is, how clearly being inside versus outside, whatever it might be. There are days where when I played, I wish I would have wore a glove on my right hand because I thought to myself, man, I'm either sweaty or I'm too dry, or you lick your fingers as much as you want. You can't get a good grip on the ball. You wear the glove. Yeah, maybe you're taking a little bit of feel off of actually having your hand on the ball. But at the same time, you're eliminating the too dry or too sweaty, whatever it might be. So again, there was definitely times where I wish I would have had worn gloves on certain days to be able to have a better grip on the ball. So yeah, but he's gonna have to do it again. I mean, the only outside game they have, if I'm not mistaken, is the last
Chicago.
game
Yeah.
at Soldier Field. So there's going to be we keep talking about this. There's going to be a lot riding on that last game.
Yeah.
Thank God they won today because I'm telling you right now, if they lost that game today, the path for them to get to the playoffs, certainly the path to win the North was
It's not there.
huh?
Yeah. It's not there.
Oh no, not at
So
all.
two more negative things I want to talk
Go
about, and then
ahead.
I want to talk about a couple positives to take away from this. The first negative, there's the last two negatives is Montgomery hurt. Is David
Oh, yeah.
Montgomery hurt? Because the last 2-3 games he has not been himself. Just not running as confident. And maybe that's one of the positives I'm going to talk about here in a second is how Will Gibbs is doing. We'll save it for then, but maybe is it Gibbs doing a better job and that Montgomery's not? But to me, around the goal line, why is David Montgomery not in there pounding the ball? And by the way, why do you run shotgun when you're on the 1 yard line to go back 4 yards to gain 1 yard? So now you have to gain 5 yards to get 1 yard.
Yeah. So you're saying power football versus finesse.
That's what they do. That's what they've
Right.
got. The second thing is Goff's indecisiveness. Goff made those decisions faster. Maybe it's this new offense. Maybe it's the change from Ben Johnson to whatever this hybrid they're using right now. He was so ingrained with Johnson. He knew it was just the snap of fingers. He knew who was going to be here, who was going to be there.
Right.
There's just that indecisiveness. And maybe this is going back to when Johnson's first year as the O coordinator for Lions was, when it wasn't as sharp as what it is now. But
Well, okay. So here, let me touch on that again as a former quarterback at the high school level, which is not even remotely close to where Jared Goff's at. But when you're feeling pressure, it completely throws off your rhythm. It throws off your mechanics. It throws everything off. So the other thing that you'll notice about, and if you go back and watch today's game, some of those drops by both J-Mo and St. Brown, I wouldn't call them ducks, but they weren't the traditional tight spirals that Goff usually throws. So he is absolutely having issues with pressure. He's having issues with pressure being able to step up in the pocket, get out of the pocket, whatever it might be. So his inaccuracies are a direct reflection, a direct effect of a bad pass or a bad offensive line protecting him. So you have yawned more than I have in this all of a sudden.
I didn't sleep last night. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so the pressure up front is getting to Goff, which is causing him to be indecisive. And again, as a quarterback, when you drop back, if there's no protection, you feel it, and it throws you off completely. Again, coming from someone who played at such a high level at Cardinal Mooney Catholic High School in Marine City, Michigan.
So let's talk about a couple of the real positives. Give me a running back in the NFL right now better than Jameson Williams. Or excuse me, not Jameson. Excuse me,
I know
Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah.
There's nobody better.
Nope.
He hits the hole, that touchdown. Nobody touched him. He just ran right through the hole. Great. It was a good offensive
Literally
block.
nobody touched him. Yeah, right. Here
we're
ripping on the offensive line, and all of a sudden, here we go right to, oh yeah, by the way, he didn't get touched. Yeah, he literally did not get one fingertip on him on that game-winning, what ended up being the game-winning touchdown run. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, He is. I can't tell you anybody right now that's playing better football than Jahmyr Gibbs, and he clearly bailed the Lions out today.
Almost 260 total yards today. I mean, 219 rushing yards, and was it 40 some odd yards passing? So almost 260 total yards is incredible. Jahmyr Gibbs, incredible with what he does, and
You wanna
he's
talk about another
just
positive?
yeah. Go ahead.
Jameis Winston. Dude,
No, okay. There were a couple throws, Jameis Winston, that you could have had a fair
Hail
catch.
Mary passes. Yeah.
No, you could have had fair catches, and the Lions'
That's what I
defensive
mean,
backs
yeah.
were nowhere near them.
No. Like, what the that one fourth and 17, he just from the 3-yard line, he just hurled the ball in
It
the
was
air
like
it was
everyone
a Hail
looking
Mary.
like
Yeah, it was a Hail Mary, and then, like,
in slow motion.
how in the world did he complete that pass? So, I mean, Bobby said to me during that game, towards the end of the game, he's like, Jameis Winston, player of the game, without a doubt. And I said, yeah, you're spot on that one.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'm not trying to go back to the negatives, but I have to because I'm trying to get my frustration out. Dan Campbell and some of these clock management issues that are starting to rear their ugly head again. Okay, again, end of the half, Goff completes a long pass. They get down to the 40-yard line. Instead of calling a timeout with 25 seconds left, they get the team running up all the way and spiking the ball. What? Why? So they spike the ball. Okay, they still have their timeout. They have 14 seconds left. They run a play and complete a 4-yard out.
Out.
It's not like it was his 4th or 5th check down. He was basically, and it was St. Brown, he was the only option in that play.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you don't use a timeout, you spike the ball, and your next play is a 4-yard out pattern? What? Why not call a timeout, right? Then get to probably at least 2 more plays.
Yep.
Run out patterns then. Set yourself up to go for the touchdown instead of the field goal. But I digress. They get their field goal, but then at the end of the game again,
I said it.
they spike the ball, and then they have to call a timeout.
They wasted 8 to 10 seconds to spike the ball.
Listen, this has to be discussed. I mean, seriously, how do you, as an NFL coach, how do you spike the ball and then you can't get the team back on the field and you have to take your last time out of the game? Can you imagine if they lost the game? Campbell's going to take a lot of heat as it is, as he completely and totally deserves over the last 2 weeks for sure.
Is the play calling? Is that play calling taking away from, for lack of a better term, his other responsibilities that he should be looking at and taking care of?
Great point.
The clock management, those little things that he last year was great on.
Yes, agreed. Great point, and I would say that is a very valid point. That his indecisiveness is a direct reflection of him taking on the responsibility of the play calling. Because again, I tend to throw Dan Campbell under the bus, and I'm pretty critical of him, but as a general rule, like you just said, I mean, he hasn't had those clock management issues since probably 2022, generally speaking. But what about that third? Okay, let's shift really quick. What about that pass interference call on the third down on that last drive that they had, that where I think it might have been, I don't know who it was, that barely touched the thigh pad, and they called pass interference. So this was at least recent here in the last however many weeks, months of the NFL season. I didn't think there were a ton of flags being thrown in this particular game. Matter of fact, I think the Giants were only flagged 3 times, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a pretty
clean game. But yeah, that one I'm like, what pass interference? And even again, I can't remember what the name of the color commentator was this afternoon. He even said, he goes, man, I've seen
Jonathan Vilma.
Yeah, thank you. It's like, so the takeaways are: stop underestimating teams. You're not as good as you think, Lions. Stop doing celebrations when you're getting your butts handed to you. Again, that they got that interception. They go celebrate. Half the team goes to the end zone, starts celebrating. Then they go 3 and out. So I'm like, oh, then that was JMO's 3rd or 4th drop. Yeah. Like, JMO, if you ever celebrate again, it'll be way too soon.
He had a hand in his face a little bit, but he still should have been able to make that. There should be no excuse.
You're an NFL. You're an NFL wide receiver. Catch the ball.
You asked about penalties. Giants 7 penalties, 59 yards. Lions 9 penalties, 81 yards.
Okay, well, I underestimated that. I was thinking it was
16 penalties accepted between the two teams.
So let's look at the final stat line here today. Jared Goff. Let me pull this up. Oops, box score. So Goff ended up being 28 of 42, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, which was clearly St. Brown's fault because he dropped the ball. He was only sacked 3 times, and he had a rating of 91.3. So he just missed Barry Sanders' single
Sandals,
game, single game rushing record of, I believe, 230 or 231 yards, I think it was.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was 15 carries, 219. To your point, is there anybody better right now? No. Thank God the Lions have him. 2 touchdowns. The average, wow. Look at the average per carry, 14.6. It's clearly skewed by a couple of those long runs, but still, it doesn't matter, right? I mean,
Hmm.
the man touches the ball, and he is electric, and then some. To your point, David Montgomery, 5 carries, 10 yards. Amon-Ra, 9 receptions, despite us ripping on him and his 2 drops. 9 receptions, 149 yards receiving with 1 touchdown. He was targeted 13 times. No surprise there. Gibbs, he had 11 receptions, 45 yards, one touchdown. That was pretty sweet. That was pretty good. Goff lofted the ball over the linebacker. Gibbs caught it and then reached his hand out and got that touchdown. Khalif Raymond, actually. Did you see Khalif Raymond? He looked pretty good today, actually.
Yeah, but then he got hurt too.
He did get hurt, yeah.
Yeah.
He had two receptions, 37 yards. He was targeted twice. Brock Wright trying to get in for the
Saporta.
Ha.
For the Laporta. Saporta.
Yeah, so he had surgery. Is that correct? Of course, being out of town this week.
From what I heard, he had a fractured vertebrae. And Mike, I was talking to my wife about this. I'm like, I wonder if he had some type of fusion to kind of set that back into place, because he's obviously out the rest of this year.
Rest of the season, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big loss. Brock Wright's going to have to step up.
But you know what? Brock Wright has it. Whenever he's getting in there, he's a great blocker, and he's done a good job. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 receptions, 29 yards. Demo Montgomery had 3 receptions, 19 yards. Defensively, Jack Campbell had 11 tackles. Wow.
He's incredible with the way he handles that middle of the field.
Yeah. Meek Robertson, 7 tackles. Brian Branch, 7 tackles. Let's go down to Hutch. 6 tackles, 2 for losses. That was the one. Is it time to start really talking about Hutch? Questioning Hutch? Like, where's Hutch?
I'm really thinking that they're double teaming him. They're running schemes to push the ball away from where he's at. The quarterbacks are doing a good job. Think of against Washington. Yeah, he had a great game there, but Eagles are what they are. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. Giants, Jameis Williams is an escape artist, and he just got out. And then
I still want to see more pressure. I
absolutely
just want to see more pressures.
There was and I haven't really. Kelvin Shepard's done a good job this year for the most part with the defense, especially with the defensive backs they had. But this game felt it's like you were calling. It's as if you had a front 7 versus the back 4 calling plays. Like you had somebody calling defensive back plays and then somebody calling offense, or the front 7 plays, and they didn't talk to each other. And it's just weird how you'd have that mix. Like the front 7 were doing a great job, and then where's the defensive backs? And then the opposite, you'd have a run a nickel, and where's the front 6 at? And it just seemed very disjointed.
Yeah, it does. But I think he has done a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is an absolute upgrade over Aaron Glenn. Sorry, I just do. I mean, I was never an AG fan. I don't think I ever will be an AG fan. I think he was way overrated. I think he seemed a little overwhelmed at times. Some of the defensive schemes that he would come up with, that one 3rd and 17 when they went man-to-man defense and drop back, and that was one of those plays where Jameis Winston dropped a dime for like a 22-yard gain. I'm like, seriously? We're in man-to-man? What? On 3rd and 17? What are we doing? I'm thinking to myself, what is this, Aaron Glenn?
You're deeper than everything's in front of you at that point.
Yes.
Nothing's going to get behind
you. Deeper than
you.
the deepest.
Yep.
Jamison Winston. Look at this stat line for him. 18 of 36, so 50% completion ratio. 366 yards. 2 touchdowns. That was a brutal interception that he threw. He was only sacked one.
That's a Jamison Williams interception.
It is. And that's when he played for the Browns. It's the same exact thing.
And when he played for Tampa, it was the same thing. Yeah,
they were talking about that on the broadcast. The man has ice running through his veins. Basically, he doesn't care. He doesn't. If he throws an interception, he throws an interception. He really doesn't give a what.
Yeah.
Ended up with a 93.1 rating.
But
rushing the ball.
I want to talk about something to do with the quarterback situation for the Giants. Did you see who the captain was for the Giants that went out in overtime with his helmet on, like he's a kid that's expecting to get into the game?
I know. I'm like, Bobby said that to me. He goes, Dad, why is Russell Wilson out doing the coin toss? I'm like,
Yeah,
what? Because I
yeah.
ran around the corner to get a Diet Coke and I came back. I'm like, what the? Wait a minute. And you to your point, I'm like, he's got his
He's got his
helmet on?
helmet. He's got his helmet on.
What are you doing?
Put me in, coach. I can play, coach.
Bobby was ripping on Jackson Dart being on the sideline with a one leg sleeve on his leg or whatever, the black. I don't know why. Bobby doesn't like Jackson Dart. I don't know why. He was
I
out.
it's number one is his name. He's got that Southern quarterback. His parents named
Jackson,
him that because they knew he was
Jackson
going to be a
Dart.
quarterback.
Yeah.
And him and Scattaboo are just headbutting each other like in the locker room, I'm sure, before and after each game. By the way,
You
Cam
see Scat?
Scattaboo, yeah,
Yeah.
at the wrestling. Like, how are they allowing that with a broken leg?
Like, again, this just draws into question of who's running the ship here?
Not players, or it's not teams anymore.
No,
No,
clearly not.
let's go run over some of the other games this weekend. I want
Go ahead.
as bad as the Lions have been this year, as up and down as they've been. What the hell is happening in Buffalo? The fact that
I
they lost to Houston this past week, and Josh Allen got sacked what 7 times, 8 times,
Yeah, he was sacked.
8.
Josh Allen was sacked. Got it here someplace. Hold on.
Yeah,
Houston passing. Josh Allen was sacked 8 times. Yes,
3
eight
turnovers.
times. 2 interceptions. He was 24 of 34, 253 yards. He had a whopping QBR of 26 with an overall rating of 67.4. Probably one of the not so great outings for Josh Allen. But yeah, I mean, listen, they were the Texans to their much maligned offensive line that can't seem to protect anybody, basically. Davis Mills played that game in place of the injured,
The
what's his,
long neck of the law.
yeah, long, yeah, I don't know what's going on in Buffalo. They seem to be also a little bit scatterbrained. I mean, they look
Yeah,
like world beaters against the Chiefs, and then they pull one of these games out of their hat. So I don't know. They stand at 7-4. I mean, if you look at the standings in the AFC right now, I mean, they are basically, I believe, 2 games behind. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're two and a half. Well, 2.5 games behind. The Pats are 10-2, which clearly, outside of the Colts, who lost today to the whatchamacallit, the Chiefs, is there
oh,
more
they
of a
did lose. I
surprising
didn't see that
team?
game. Yeah, I didn't notice
That
that.
was overtime. Is there more of a surprising team than the New England Patriots? I don't think so.
No, I mean they've got a point differential. They've outscored their opponents by 92 points. They've won 9 straight games.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
They're 6-0 on the road.
Which is
Incredible.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, listen, the Bills aren't in danger of missing out on the playoffs because outside of the Pats, you got the Bills. Excuse me, Denver's 9-2. Indy is 8-3 now after today's loss. Baltimore is 6-5, and this again is pretty interesting to watch how Baltimore how they were still the odds-on betting favorite to win
They're leading
the
the
cent.
division right now.
And they're going to. I mean, the Steelers lost again today. So Buffalo sits at number 6 behind the Chargers. So they're 7-4. Jacksonville's got to win today, and Pittsburgh lost, so they're 6-5. So, I mean, listen, there's a lot of football left to be played. If the Chiefs would have lost today, that would have pretty much have almost mathematically eliminated them from the playoffs for all intents and
Yeah.
purposes. But yeah, so continue on with your recap of the week, Miller.
Yeah. Seattle beat Tennessee 30-24. Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold will play well until week 15. And then week 15, 16, 17, he'll come back down to earth.
And it's over. And
But you
it's
know
done.
what? Hey, he's making $30 million a year just because he's playing 14 weeks a year. It's insane there. What see Cam Ward, 28 of 42, 256, a touchdown, no picks, 91 rating. So I mean, not horrible from Cam Ward. Or I'm sorry, Cameron Ward, I think is what he wants to be called.
Did he make
But
that official statement that he wants to
I
be
think
called
so. I think so. Earlier in the year, yeah.
that?
Is now At the Ward family reunions, do you talk to him much, or do you guys stay away from him?
Yeah, so we have discussions surrounding if I want to be called Michael as opposed to Mike. He says if talks about Robert versus Bobby and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you and Cam,
yeah.
you guys shoot the shit about that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I am sick of Fox, by the way, at one of the other games of the game of the week. It's the
Why is
Eagles and the
why
Cowboys.
are the Cowboys in a game of a week? Can
Because
somebody
people will watch, just like
huh?
they'll watch the Yankees and they'll watch the Dodgers and they'll watch the
America's
Red
team, the
Sox.
Dallas Cowboys. All
Yeah.
right,
Down
sure.
21-7 going into half with them. Falcons up 13-7 over the Saints. Your Brownies are up going into just started the fourth quarter, 14-3.
Yep.
Cardinals and the Jaguars, another one of the Jaguars. Duval, nothing's
Oof.
going on with them.
Mhm.
You know, obviously mentioned the Packers beating the Vikings, Buccaneers and the Rams tonight. I don't know. I'll turn into that game just
Oh,
because
that's
I
going to
want
be a
to
great
see.
game.
You got two quarterbacks who will both have their arms cut off, but
Gunslingers.
yet still be slinging the ball out there.
Yep, exactly.
And
Former
Ravens,
Ram quarterback, former Rams quarterback too.
former Ram, former let's see, who else was he with?
Well, obviously the Baker was with the Browns, but
Who was Baker with when he got the Panthers when he got
Panthers,
released,
yeah.
and 36 hours later he's starting a game for the Rams.
yeah, and he won that game too.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson, by the way, today they beat the Jets 23-10. Texans 13-23, a $153. No touchdowns, no picks. I mean, he had 153 yards passing, and they've had 98 yards rushing, and they scored 23 points.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor starting for the Jets. It's 17-28, 222, a pick and a touchdown.
Aaron Glenn, there he is again.
Yeah, he won't last. He'll be gone at the end of this year. So I mean, that's your
he's not gonna
rundown.
last in that.
Yeah, I mean that's your rundown
Hey,
there.
how much,
Monday
Derek
Night Football.
Oh, he only had
Okay.
64 yards carrying. Sorry, he had 2
Yeah.
touchdowns though.
Monday Night
Yeah.
Football, 49ers and the Panthers. Once again, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now go back to
Um,
that Colts Chiefs game because that
Yeah.
again. So the
Overtime game
Colts were
there.
8-2. The Chiefs were 5-5. So like I said earlier, they absolutely had to win that game.
And the
came
Chiefs
back
just
in
keep
OT.
they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to probably go to the championship game this year and probably lose in the championship game.
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously Indy's outside of the Pats, then those are the two surprising teams in the
Yeah.
in the league right now. Daniel Jones, 19-31, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, no sacks, no interceptions. He had a rating of 99. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, 16 carries, 58 yards, no touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, 29-46, 352.
352.
An interception. He was sacked 4 times. So this is another disturbing trend with him, though. And this is what they talk about with some of these offensive lines of some of these teams. I mean, if you can't keep Patrick Mahomes upright, that does not bode well in the playoffs. So like you said, they're going to make the playoffs, but a banged up Patrick Mahomes does not bode well for the Chiefs to do anything in the playoffs. So in my opinion, I don't see them getting to the AFC Championship game because with a 6-5 record right now, even if they win out, which they're not going to, I don't think that they're not going to have, if they make it to the AFC Championship game, it's not going to be at home. Of course, they went to Buffalo last year, won too. So
Yeah.
it's hard to argue that. But nonetheless, at least right now, I don't see the Chiefs in that scenario. But it is Mahomes, and it is, what's his name?
And Kelsey?
God. No, not Kelsey. Head
What am I
coach.
thinking? Yeah, Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. What the hell? Man, some days I just have brain farts galore.
We've had concussion syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
So that's around the NFL league. Let's talk a little bit about some college football. Nothing massive this past weekend. Michigan took care of Maryland in one of the most boring games ever, 45-20. Ohio State.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
I
Ohio
actually
State beat Rutgers.
Yeah. Well, Ohio State looked like they were way disinterested in the first half. I mean, that game was 7-3 with 2 minutes the 2-minute timeout for college football. It was 7-3. Ohio State promptly scored right after that to make it 14-3. And then the second half, they pretty much took over. But that was a clear case. Hey, listen, maybe Ryan Day is actually, obviously with the winning a national championship, but maybe he really did go in and started and shook a few helmets at halftime because they did look much better in the second half. But that again looks like a classic case of looking ahead to this upcoming week in the game.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about that now, or you want to wait for that? Because
Let's wait for that one.
go ahead. You run down the rest of the scores.
Texas A&M winning 48-0 over Samford. Why in the hell is is this cupcake weekend? I know one weekend always in the SEC is like towards the end of the year they're playing Samford, a 1-11 Samford team.
Yeah, right.
And I think you look at that. Who else was there? No, Alabama was playing Eastern Illinois, 56-0 they won. Notre Dame was
Notre
playing the
Dame.
Our Lady of the Sacred Heart of Nobody in Syracuse, 70-7.
Every
By the
once
way,
in a
no
while, you come up with a good one.
Notre Dame Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame as a team. Those first 2 weeks they played, it was tough games. They played Texas A&M, and so it was a tough
Well,
matchups they had.
well, you're seeing the evolution of their offense. Their offense
Yeah,
too. I mean, Marcus Freeman has them clicking on all cylinders right now. Or they're in the current number 9 spot. I don't think they're going to get the bye with those 2 losses, but I fully expect if they continue to play this way, they will be in either the semifinal game or the final game again. If they had
wait,
this offense
that
last
can't
year,
that can't be
uh,
right. CJ Carr. Did you see CJ Carr's stats for the game?
I'll pull them up right now.
I'm just going to tell you, as a team, Notre Dame had 67 yards passing for the game, and they scored 70.
That's incredible. 5 of 9, 49 yards with 1 touchdown. Holy
309 yards rushing,
J
320. They had 13.7 yards every time they touched the ball.
That's incredible. Look at the stat line. Jeremiah Love had 8 carries for 171 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jadarian
Jared
Price, 4 carries, 70 yards. Kenny Minchie, 2 yards carries, yards.
and CJ Carr brought everybody down at 1 carry, 10 yards loss.
Aeneas Williams, 3 carries, 39 yards. Each one of those guys had a touchdown, with
Mhm.
Jeremiah Love having 3.
Well, okay, so three picks. Syracuse threw 3 picks. I
Yeah.
don't know how many fumbles they had, but that tells me everything I need to know. They probably had a couple defensive touchdowns in there as well. I'm just looking at their stat line from
Yeah,
there.
Joseph Filardi, Syracuse's quarterback, had 3 interceptions. He had a QBR of 11.9. Ooh, heads up. So, yeah, I think what I was going to say is if Notre Dame had the offensive production from last year in that championship game against Ohio State, that would have been one hell of a game. Not that it
Yeah.
wasn't anyways, but
No. Yeah.
yeah. So continue on.
BYU beating Cincinnati 26-14. Cincinnati's just had an up and down year. Utah 51-47 over Kansas State. Miami won again, beat Virginia Tech.
Mhm.
Vanderbilt. By the
There's gonna
way,
be Vandy.
did you see who Vanderbilt's quarterback, Diego Pavia? You remember the whole thing with his mom and who's the comedian right now? I'm drawing a blank right now. Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn said he wanted to go on a date with his mom. Well, for senior night, Theo Vaughn walked out with Diego Pavia's mom at halftime.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to see. But
That's pretty funny.
yeah, you tell you what,
33 of 39 for 484 yards. Are you kidding? 5 touchdowns? What the heck?
and he wants to
Man.
come back to college for another year, which is the smartest thing because he'll make $10 million next year.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, it's a smart move on his part. He's not an NFL quarterback, but he's going to make a hell of a lot of money if he can stay back one more year.
So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting with the playoff. But you got Vandy sitting at 14. You got Miami sitting at 13. You've got Utah sitting at 12. So who gets in?
Well,
I mean,
and I tell you what, the Big Ten could have a couple teams with buys. Indiana with the buy this week was incredible. How they get a buy this
How do you
week
get
to get
how do you
rested
get a bye
up?
the second? Yeah,
But
that's weird.
yeah,
Who do they have
so
next week?
let's see
Indiana
here.
is at Purdue.
IU is at Purdue. It's a
Yep.
30-point spread in that game. Um,
Trip up
yeah.
game before the Big Ten championship game the following
So
week. No,
before
no.
we talk about the game, these are Friday's games. You got the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss playing Mississippi
I love
State.
it.
That's a great name, the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, it is.
And that'll be the final game for Lane Kiffin before he accepts a $90 million contract to go to LSU, from what I'm reading.
Mhm.
Utah is going to be playing Kansas, Georgia and Georgia Tech, IU, Purdue, Texas A&M and Texas. That's only a 2.5-point spread. Texas A&M's favored, but it's at Texas, Arizona State. And Saturday, before we go up to the final one, it's going to be Texas Tech, West Virginia,
Forgot to
Miami,
bring up.
and Miami.
ahead.
I didn't forget. We're going to talk about that one. It's, for God forbid, it's one you care about. Oregon, and Washington State, or excuse
No,
me, Washington.
I was going to say you forgot about James Franklin being
I forgot about that. Yeah.
introduced at Va Tech.
I
Did you see they played
did
Enter
Metallica?
Sandman? Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
Metallica. At the basketball game, and he walked out with his wife.
I
I
like
hope he
James
does. I hope
Franklin.
he does good there. For all the crap he takes,
He's
he's
a
kind
good
of a
coach.
DB. Yeah, he is a
Yeah,
good coach.
yeah. He seems to have a good best in for his,
You
kids.
know what I like about him? He's pretty protective of his players. I mean, he does. He's always said, "This is on me. This is on me." I mean, it gets old after a while, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, yeah. But this just goes to show you, though. I mean, whether it's college or the NFL or any athletics, I mean, it's all about it's about your record, and if you
Mhm.
can't win the big games, sorry. So,
Yep.
continue
Um,
on.
and before we talk about the game,
The game.
let's talk about my Broncos, who are number 1 in the MAC right now, hold their destiny in their hands. If they beat Eastern Michigan this Tuesday at EMU on MACtion,
Are you going?
Western will go play in the MAC championship game here in Detroit. So that's
Are
pretty
you
incredible. And
going?
there's a chance. I don't know if I'm going to be going or not. I got to double check. It's going to be a cold Tuesday night unless I get in the press box. I don't think I'm going to that game. And it could be Central and
Rain
Western.
likely too.
Yeah, Central and Western playing for the MAC championship game in Detroit, which would be kind of incredible. Although to me, they should get the death penalty, Central, after the whole Spygate stuff.
Mm.
So
Where's that
letting a guy.
game? Is it at Ford Field?
It would be at Ford Field, yes. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to have to get tickets for that one.
Well, I would
But
go to
yeah,
that.
yeah. So it'll be this coming week. Yeah, so you're gonna see a couple games there. It should be fun with everything that they're gonna have. But so that was the last one. Now let's talk about the game, which honestly it
Mm.
is. It's every year, and no matter what the score and their records are, you can't get around it. It's a hell of a
Mm-mm.
matchup. It's the best rivalry and is one of the best rivalries in sports. I won't call it the best because there are some incredible rivalries, but
Yeah, we're a
it
little
is.
biased living in
Yeah.
Michigan and Ohio, obviously.
Yeah, so yeah, a little biased there, but it is pretty darn incredible there. I'm just going to look at the early line for it that you're looking at for Ohio State, Michigan, and right now it is Ohio State minus 11.5. The game is at Michigan, which is about right. It's if it was at Ohio Stadium, it'd probably be a little bit bigger spread, but they're thinking it's going to be a tight scoring too. I mean, 44.5 for a total is not huge for this matchup either. It's going to be the
No.
question of
The question what?
can Michigan score?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the vaunted defense of Ohio State is a little different than the Jim Knowles vaunted defense of last year. This game is going to come down to Ryan Day. It's just that
Mhm.
simple. Is Ryan Day going to not be able to swallow his ego again and get completely and totally clouded by whatever it is point he wants to prove this will be, I mean, after 4 years. It's always funny because I listen to Michigan fans, 4 years, 4 years. I'm like, dude, you lost 17 years in a row. Well, I think there was one win in there for Michigan, but basically you were 2-18 for over 20 years. So please don't. I get it. I understand 4 years in a row. If Ohio, it was the opposite way, I'd be completely on the same side.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I have no confidence going into this game as
No.
pulling for Ohio State as a well, I guess I've become once a year or twice a year Buckeye fan. Not like I used to be by any stretch of the imagination. But going into this game, 11.5. Are you kidding me? Listen. I'd put this game at about 2-3. That's it. I'm serious. It's at
It's always a
Michigan.
good.
Yeah, it's always a good game.
Well,
It's always
let me rephrase that. It's either a massive blowout or it's a one-score game.
Well, listen,
In both ways.
Michigan hasn't blown Ohio State out in 25 years. Those 20 years of Ohio State dominance, there were a ton. And listen to that very closely, Michigan fans. I'm not saying you, Miller. There were many, many blowouts where it wasn't even close. To the point where Jim Harbaugh was probably going to be fired until he hired Connor Stallions. Oh, there it is again. I'm so
can't stand
sorry
him.
about that.
And you know what? He
Connor
keeps popping up.
Stallions.
He keeps popping up everywhere.
He needs to go
And
away.
I'm sick of his face. I just want to punch
Yeah.
it.
He needs to go away. Just go away. Just go away.
Just go away.
I don't understand.
Just get away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'm not being facetious. I really don't have any confidence. I mean, so we're gonna go to Shane Strahler's barn, watch this game. I'm assuming you're gonna come over.
I
Yeah.
will be there. I will be
So
there.
I'm gonna have to be. I'll be in constraints. I think you guys are gonna put me in a flak jacket so I don't break anything, which is probably not a bad idea.
Exactly.
I mean, listen, Julian Sand clearly has looked well, very good. He's lost Smith the past couple weeks. I don't think he's really injured. I think they're basically trying to hold him back to make sure that He's ready for this game. But Sands looked a little bit off the last 2 weeks to the point where you could see Ryan Day was pretty frustrated on the sidelines with him. But I mean, listen, if you have all world athletes at the wide receiver position, which Ohio State usually does, and those guys aren't on the field, and Sands used to throwing to them and knowing where they're at, the timing and camaraderie and everything else, then that's a different story. But yeah, I mean, did think I thought Maryland was going to give Michigan. I kind of go back to this week a little bit better game. I thought
Mhm.
Michigan would get caught looking forward. I guess this is something else that's making me think to myself this game is going to be very close. I think Michigan's geared up for it.
And
Mm,
those week think about the past. Those weekends before the game have always been traps for both teams. They
Yeah,
just those whatever they play, they're always much closer than what they ever should be. And granted, they're both
much.
blowouts this year, but
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's just I don't know. It's going to be a close game. It just
yeah,
is. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't think that it's going to have. It's not going to be a blowout. Sharon Moore, as much as I'm not a big fan of Sharon Moore, but he does seem to have Ryan Day's number, and it's a rivalry game. It's Michigan, Ohio State. It's at
yeah.
the big house. It's big noon kickoff. Whatever. This
Mike's
game should be at
favorite.
3:30. I hate big noon kickoffs, but yeah, I mean, whatever. It is what it is, but it'll be fun. I'm gonna go into this game with a good attitude. I'm gonna be smiling. You guys gonna have to keep me in check so I don't get too pissed off if something happens bad. So yeah,
Well,
we'll see. It's
it
always
should be
fun,
fun. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. We always have a good time. It's always good mannered.
especially
And
at Captain. Oh, he just bought his new 75-inch TV too.
well, that'd be great. Just
That's
enough
in the
time for us to
barn.
throw something through it. One of the things we've mentioned so far college, we mentioned professional. One of the things that also is this upcoming weekend is the Michigan High School Athletic Association's championship game for the football. So all 8 divisions will be played down at Ford Field, which is really I hate it because it's being played on Friday and Sunday instead of the
Mm,
typical Friday and Saturday because
Saturday,
Michigan
yeah,
State, yeah, with Michigan State, I think is playing Maryland, I think on Saturday.
yeah.
Whoever it is, it's a pain. But a couple of cool things kind of taking place, and the last couple of weeks we've had ourselves and Bob Patterson, the wide receiver, or one of our great friends, but a wide receiver coach for Bloomfield Hills Losser. He's their varsity wide receiver coach, and he knows a ton about football more than even we do. And it's been great
Oh,
to go
great.
over go over the high school roundups. And honestly, you guys have had a great reaction to it. So we're gonna do that again, probably Wednesday night or sometime. I'm sure our wives will let us do this on Thursday afternoon, right during the middle of Thanksgiving. So
Oh
maybe
yeah.
we can just record it during the middle of there. Our wives will
Yeah.
understand that. Yeah,
Wednesday night's the biggest bar night of the year. I'm sure we'll get plenty of people that are not going to go out to the bar. Although
right.
I think that's been kind of. Is that still a
Curtailed.
thing? Do you know?
I no kids don't. Kids will all sit on their phones and just sit in the same room together nowadays.
Yeah, nobody drinks
But
anymore.
no, no, which is probably a good thing, honestly, our way our livers are. But
Wow. Oh, yeah, yeah.
a couple big things going into this weekend. We got the matchup that we all wanted for Division One game, which is going to be Cass Tech against Detroit Catholic Central. So
Mm,
top in the Detroit Public School leagues versus the top in
top in the
the
Catholic
Catholic
League.
League. You're talking about.
The game
I
on
think they're
Sunday?
going to be Sunday at 7 p.m.
Oh,
So prime time game. And one of the things I'm going to talk about, this is going to be my rant, and outside of Mike's rant, every year for the Michigan High School Athletic Association, the final games are always broadcast on, it used to be Pass, then it was Fox Sports, and then it was Bally's,
Bally's.
and now it's FanDuel Sports. They always are broadcast all 8 games. Whether it's tape delay, whether it's there. This year, thank you, Michigan Athletic Association. You're not broadcasting any games thanks to your agreement with, and I think it's the MFHS, the cameras that are all these. So you have to pay now, and I want to say it's $10. So it's not much to get all 8 games. You want to say a buck, buck 10 a game, whatever it is. But the fact that you have to go out to a different app and you have to do this, this is these kids' time to shine. This is something that FanDuel Sports has. Either it's going to be darts, it's going to be racing from Latvia, or it's going to be some other stupid thing they're going to have on during those
Mm,
times in the middle of the day. Why aren't you televising this with the kids there? Other than money. And that's all it really comes down to in the end. And even in the last 2 weeks, I sat there on Friday nights and Saturdays. I'm like, I'm going to turn something on. Somebody's got to have this game on YouTube. Someone's got to be broadcasting a game. Nope. You got to pay the $4 to be able to listen to it or do anything through there. It was cool this year, getting to spend the year with sportscaster.com and WJR, getting to broadcast all these games and high school games of the week. It was amazing to see it, even what State Champs does, which is a really cool thing with Channel 4. But
right.
because of these agreements, they are not allowing any other broadcast of the game other than through these online channels, which is I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm really wrong, but it seems to be really stupid that they're doing it this way.
So the only thing I would say, and I would hope, is that if they're taking some of the not proceeds, the revenue from the $10 per view,
Yeah,
and they put it back, and they're putting it back into the program specifically for referees. I think
hopefully.
we've talked about this. This is a significant issue in high school sports, not only in Michigan, all across the country,
Yeah.
of referees and the propensity that nobody wants to be, and you can understand why, a referee. So if they are going to commit to redistributing that revenue into the programs and at least into the referee fund, I guess you would call it, right?
Yeah.
Where we could train referees, we could pay them even more to attract younger. I mean, if you watch some of these games and go to some of these games, God bless the referees that are there. They're getting a tad bit older. They're getting a tad bit heavier. They can't necessarily move very fast. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way because again, I
Yeah.
thank them very, very, very much for their time and their dedication to the kids' sports and athletes, athletics in general. But they can't keep doing this. I mean, what's
Yeah.
going to happen in 5 years if those guys can't do it anymore and there's nobody following them, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, if they're going to take some of that revenue, put it back into these athletic programs and specifically for the MHSAA with referees and properly paying them and training them, then I'm all for it. If
Yeah.
this is simply a revenue grab,
Yeah. I'll pay the
yeah,
$10 if that's the case. I'd love to watch some of these
yeah,
games.
I would too. Will
Honestly, I
too.
kind of want to go down on Sunday because I think that's the Notre Dame prep game as well, and I think that's going to be the CC Cast Tech game as during the day. So I'd love to go see it, but yeah, if I
Yeah.
have to, I can do it that way. Speaking of falling asleep and thinking of old people, and speaking of everything else, Mike, I got a video to share with you. I don't think you've seen this video yet that I think is
Oh
going to
boy.
knock your socks off. So give me a second here,
And I have my
folks.
wool socks on today too, so it'd be tough to knock them off.
It's gonna be tough to kinda knock out through there, so, alright, so let's see if we can play this, courtesy of Fox 2 KTVU.
I'm sorry. Relax, relax, relax. Now at 5, a first
Can you see
look, an
that?
alarming video of a
Yeah.
Muni train barreling through a curve at 50 miles an hour with the driver seemingly asleep at the wheel.
Oh no.
Good evening. I'm Claudine Wong. Now, this all happened in September on the Anjuta line, but this is the first time we're getting a look at the video from multiple angles. Now, first, take a look at this camera. This is the driver right here, and you can see through several points in this video
Oh
that she
my.
appears to be nodding off. Her head actually drops down several times. This is
I've been there.
8:36 in the
I've been
morning.
sleeping like
The
that before.
train is in motion, and we know now it is also speeding up. And then at some point, there's one big jolt, which seems then to shake the driver back into attention, and then she reacts. But until that jolt happens,
Oh
she's
my
basically
word.
just kind of nodding off and just step after step, not
This is a
really
bus.
knowing what's going on. All right, I want to
No,
walk
it's
you
a
over to
train.
this other piece of video
A
because I want
train,
to show
yeah.
you what's happening for the passengers during all of this. This was happening at the same time. You can see the passengers here. They're getting jolted after this
Wait till she
driver
wakes up and what she
hits this
blames it on.
curve. It's going about 50 miles an hour. It was speeding up until that point,
50.
and that is really what is happening. The driver tried to correct. The passengers are jostled around, and they're really shaken up. They jostled around a couple of times. The driver actually comes out. This is at a good time again, so you can see how hard that impact is. The driver actually tells them to relax, assures them the train did not crash, and then goes as far to tell them that it was a mechanical problem. You can have a mechanical problem. Actually, here on the video saying the emergency brake
Uh,
didn't work. So lots of reaction to this
I
video. Lots
I gotta give
tonight.
her credit for
KTV's
one
Christian
thing,
Captain joins us live
My.
with the story.
just all of a sudden coming out and being
A
like, "Oh, the brakes
mechanical
didn't
error.
work. Brakes didn't work." Could you
The
imagine being
heck?
on that train and I've been on enough trains on the West Coast, especially the BART system and all that there. Yeah, it's pretty incredible to have somebody fall asleep and why there's no backup, why there's no mechanical stuff when it comes down to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a train. I guess I'm kind of surprised it's even still human driven for that matter, right?
Mhm.
I'm sure that
Yeah.
a lot of it's automated, but autonomous. Yeah, I mean, heck, you go to Detroit Metro, the tram is It's all computerized up there, but that's just on a straight rail back and forth. But
Yeah.
this is whatever. That's incredible to me. Holy crap! Watching that, I'm like cringing as somebody that travels enough and rides certain. I don't
Well,
ride trains
and
like that, but
I think you had to have the drivers because if you look, you're actually driving through the streets of San Francisco, and so you can have people running out, and so you need to have somebody there just kind of
somebody,
manning
yeah,
it and
right.
everything else. But still, I'm just shocked that you to have
Wow,
that
that is
happen. I've seen it before.
crazy.
Yeah, and just when we needed Jimmy here to give us our great
Oh yeah.
feedback for that, Jimmy'd be the perfect one for that. But Jimmy,
Hey,
we're
real
thoughts are
quick.
with you guys and love you guys.
Yeah. So Lexi's gone through some stuff the last week or so. She's had not to go in a bunch of detail, but she's had some health issues. So as my little niece, who's always fought since the day she was born, clearly
Hmm.
she's continues to fight again. Jim hasn't really gone into a ton of detail as to what exactly is going on, but that's the reason he is not here.
Yeah,
Thoughts and prayers are obviously with him and Lex and the family to make sure that she is recovering. It did sound like for sure that today was better
yeah,
than the last week, so she's making some progress. Hopefully nothing too terrible, but yeah, so that's the reason Jim's not with us today.
absolutely. So Jimmy and Jimmy Lacey, Lexi, you guys are in our prayers, and anybody that's out there, thoughts and keep them in your thoughts, keep them in your prayers. Make sure that they're especially around the holiday time. Make sure everything's good for them and we go through there.
Yeah, right.
Let's talk about another member of the family. We talked about Mr. Karopi here in our family that we just adopted out. We just got adopted. Our
Is
cat
that cat
who
still alive?
he is, and he's scaring the
Are you
daylights out of
serious?
the dog. The cat is 5 pounds, and he's scaring the 50-pound dog left and right because he hisses at him, and the dog goes running. But the funny thing is he is Charlotte's best friend, and that's the best thing in the world. Him and Charlotte are they're inseparable, and they're awesome.
Well, that's
But
good.
Mike, you had a story about a celebrity, and go into this celebrity and their dog
Oh
because
my
I got some
god.
thoughts about that after we talk a little bit about it. Because we're both
Well,
dog
first of all,
people.
yeah, huh? You're
We're
both
both
what?
dog people.
Oh,
We're both
dog
big
people.
dog people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Tom Brady has decided to clone his dog, his recently deceased dog, if I'm not mistaken. Listen, this goes into the yeah. Okay, so
Dolly
here's
the
the
sheep.
story, huh?
Like Dolly the sheep.
Yeah, he cloned his dog, whatever the heck the dog's name was. Junie is a clone of his late dog, Lua. After Lua, whom the retired quarterback shared with ex-wife Giselle and their children, died in December of 2023, he welcomed another similar-looking dog, Junie, nearly 2 years later. Brady has revealed that Junie is a clone of the late pit bull mix. Brady shared the news on Tuesday, November 4th, coinciding with an announcement from the Colossal Biosciences, a biotech company that is an investor in and that worked with him to clone his beloved Lua. On November 4th, the Dallas-based company, best known for its headline-making claim that it produced 3 dire wolf pups, announced that it has acquired another biotech company, Viagen something or another, whatever the heck the name is, Pets and Equine. Okay. So Viagen is also known for cloning Barbara Streisand's dog Samantha, who died in 2017, and Paris Hilton. Immediately, this story just went awry with Paris Hilton.
That's hot. That's
Yeah.
hot.
Dog Diamond Baby into 2 puppies after the pet went missing in 2022. Biotech company has an exclusive licensing and access to breakthrough technologies that were developed by the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh, which is widely known for cloning Dolly the sheep in the late 90s. Brady's pet Lua was cloned using blood collected prior to her death in 2023. Oh, here's Brady. I love my animals. They mean the world to me and my family, the former NFL star said. A few years ago, I worked with Colossal and leveraged their non-invasive cloning technology through a simple blood draw of our family's elderly dog before she passed. Boy, so it goes on to talk about the company gave my family a second chance to be a clone with our beloved dog, blah, blah,
Nope.
blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm just going to say, yeah, right. You're shaking your head no. I
Nope.
disagree with this 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. You are messing with nature. You're messing with everything. This is getting to a point where society, not to go into a long diatribe about that, we can't deal with anything anymore. We can't
Nope.
deal with anything anymore. God forbid. Oh no, the dog. I mean, I kind of understand it, but at the same time, it's like you can't replicate that dog.
No, you
I'm
don't want
sorry.
to. I don't want to.
I don't want to. Right. I mean, listen, I love Oakley more than anything in this world. Well, obviously the kids and back and the family, but I mean, Oakley is an
Yeah,
integral
no,
part of it. Yeah.
you like
So, yeah, I like them, right? But I mean, come on. We all know that they don't live very long, or clearly as long as human beings. You have to prepare yourself for that. And in some ways, I think it makes you love them even more because you have a
Mhm.
limited amount of time with them, relatively speaking. So, but then, yeah, this just seems it's like fake, 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 not real. So, I mean, Brady hasn't really spoke to, I don't think, as to the exact likeness and being of Luna versus Gia versus Lulu versus blah 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 blah. I don't know. I'm assuming, yeah, you agree, right?
I 100%. I mean, it's you can clone to the what their nails look like to what everything is, but to me, do you really want their brain cloned?
Hmm.
Because that's, people say, "Well, I want a dog that's gonna be just like them." Well, it's not the dog, honestly, most of the time, it's how you raise the dog, how you train them, how they become a member of your family. That's why the dog is so good. It's
Right.
not, "Well, it's this specific dog's that good." No, 'cause every dog we've had, Casey was Casey. You knew Casey, and she was insane half the time, but she was a great dog. And Kirby is the same way, and the cats are that way, and everything else is that way. And it's just like people. Everybody's different. And if you're gonna try to say, I remember dating this person back years ago, and let's see if I can get somebody like them, and if I could do that, and if I could do this, and no, it's not.
Only if I
That's
could go
playing
back and
God.
date Nancy Bergeron from junior year in high school.
Just because the Carver.
Vicky Lebedo.
So, but that's, and I guess I'm a snob too when it comes down to it. I'm not a purebred person. Like I don't like purebred dogs. I like the mutts because mutts seem to really respect and really love, know that they've getting a second chance, and
Right.
it's to each their own. So I'm not going to
Right.
go into a diatribe here and there, but with as many pets as there are out there and need homes and everything else to spend, and I think I want to say it was like 50 or 80,000 for clone this dog is what that cost Brady in the end.
Well,
And you could
this
save a
is
lot of dogs that
listen,
way.
yeah, I mean, there aren't many people in this country or the world that can afford to do such a thing either. So it's not
No,
I mean, it's really not within reach of the normal
no.
everyday man, woman, and child that would want to be able to do cloning of their pets. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, okay, Tommy, Brady, really?
He's
Not
the
only not
Botox is
only
getting to him.
yeah,
The
I
botulism.
was exactly what I was just gonna say. Like, you're the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. What in God's name are you doing putting crap in your face? Seriously. Dude,
I need a little
you are
honestly, I need a little bit here with my chin just because of the weight
I'm
loss, but
losing
that's
every time I see him and his face looks plastic and doesn't move, his cheeks don't move, I'm like, you're losing so much ground and respect from me as a red-blooded American man. Not to sound stupid, but uh like, dude, seriously, stop putting the crap in your face. Let
yeah.
yourself grow old gracefully. You can do it. There's lots of things you can do naturally, not getting crap injected in your face. Next thing you know, he'll have duck lips. That'll be the final straw for me.
I saw someone driving in a car the other day, and I was like, their lip was like, I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Come on." I think it was at Costco.
Oh yeah.
It
Well, listen, it's becoming again. Well, I did a rant about it. The only person that tells you that you look great with the duck lips is the doctor that you're paying thousands of dollars. Everybody else is going, "What in God's name did you do to your face?"
and,
But I
it's
digress.
speaking of rants, speaking of
Oh
all that
boy.
other fun stuff, Mike, you got a rant for us today?
Hmm. I do.
All right.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Mike's Rant of the Week. And now, here is Mike with his rant.
So to go, jeez, my Instagram account just got disabled, so I'm not gonna be able to share this. So everyone's gonna have to listen to me because I'm gonna have to perfect the visual of this. But this
I'll
goes
paint a
back
picture.
to, huh? Yeah,
I'll
paint
paint
the
a picture.
paint the picture. So this past May, there was a college. I don't even know where the heck it was because I was so severely disturbed by this crap that I didn't even pay attention to it. But again, I can't get my stupid Instagram to come up. So again, we're gonna have to paint a picture. The college that had the graduation ceremony deployed the AI-generated voice system to introduce each and every graduate. And do you know how they did this?
Dead
Each
relatives?
graduating,
Dead relatives?
No. Each graduating member of this college came up with their phone, and the administrator from the school had what appeared to be a barcode scanner at a grocery store and scanned the student's phone, to which the loudspeaker voice in an AI generated voice properly pronunciated that particular graduate's name.
Oh, I remember this.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me right now? Seriously? Is there anything more impersonal than walking up and having your phone scanned and an AI generated voice pronounce your name over the loudspeaker?
Michael Ward.
The proponents of said scanning system are like, well, this is the way to properly pronounce that person's name without butchering it. Right. So this goes back to one of my many rants about how lazy we are. You and I both, Miller, public address announcing. We announce things. We do things for sports. We do things for other events.
Yep.
It is not that hard to do a little bit of research, to do a little bit of homework, get people's names, work with them on the pronunciation. To the point of, during the Catholic High School League events, we usually have the student come up to us and tell us their name, which is a pronunciation of their name. If you can't repeat that name, I get it. There's a couple of them that are pretty bad. But if you're not going to do research and you're not going to do your homework and you just want to have that being done,
job.
Yeah, that's right. Don't do the job, right? But there's plenty of aspiring voice actors out there that are willing to do the homework to properly pronounce people's names without butchering it. If you're going to just throw it at the wall and have some random idiot say these kids' names, then yeah, it's going to be bad. But again, do we really need AI voices doing things for us? How impersonal? Where are we going at in society with this kind of crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a time and a place for AI. When it's replicating voices, whether it's announcing, whether it's music, whether it's acting, sorry. And oh yeah, by the way, this is getting to a point where I guess I'm gonna continue on my little rant about AI and what's going on. Let's see. Morgan Freeman is suing a company. Yes, he's suing AI. Yeah, did you hear about this?
Yep.
So just last week, Morgan Freeman threatens to sue and use legal action over AI use of his voice. You're robbing me. Morgan Freeman said his lawyers are already very, very busy tracking unauthorized artificial intelligence uses of his voice that have left the actor feeling a little PO'd. Good. That a boy. Many. Yeah, quite a few, Freeman told The Guardian on Monday when asked about the ongoing cases. While promoting his latest film, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, the 88-year-old actor, it's amazing, discussed his views.
Real quick, great set of movies if you haven't seen any of those. That's the third one, but I'll
yeah, they are really good.
Yep.
Yeah. The 88-year-old actor discussed his views on artificial intelligence replacing actors' voices after their deaths, such as the late James Earl Jones. Jones had given Lucasfilm permission to continue using his voice as Darth Vader through AI technology before his death, but Freeman strongly disagreed with the idea. This is exactly it. This is just like the pet we just talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little PO'd, Freeman said. I'm like any other actor. Don't mimic me with falseness. I don't appreciate it, and I get paid for doing stuff like this. So if you're going to do it without my permission, whoops, hold on, cut me off. Oh, you're robbing me. Yeah, if you're going to do it without my permission, you are robbing me. You can hear him say that too. Freeman also criticized the creation of AI actress Tilly Norwood, which sparked widespread condemnation from the Actors Union when she was introduced back in September. Nobody likes her because she's not real, and that takes part of a real person. So it's not going to work out very well in movies or in television. The union's job is to keep actors acting, so there's going to be that conflict. Okay, so I'm not going to keep going on this crap. This is what we talk about, though, right? We don't need robots and artificial intelligence replacing real human beings when it comes to acting, when it comes to singing, when it comes to announcing, when it comes to pronunciations, this, that, and everything else. I get it. You want to be lazy? Fine. Be lazy someplace else. Do it on your own time. But this is a really sore subject with me. Like scanning somebody's name on their phone so a stupid artificial voice can say your name out loud. No. Sorry, not happening. Not in my book, but
takes 2 seconds
whatever.
to ask what somebody's name is if you can't figure it out.
Yeah, but when you got people like Morgan Freeman, who, yes, he's 88 years old, so he's clearly done it a different way. But maybe he's had a little bit of experience. Maybe he's a little more intelligent than a lot of people because he's had so much experience. So maybe we should listen to people like him who might have that kind of knowledge to be able to lead us and guide us in the right direction. All right, I'm done. That's it. That's my rant.
I know, I agree, because one of the industries I'm working in, and I know, Mike, we're trying to get you and Beck and Kathy, everyone into it as well, is reading audiobooks. And right now, everything is, let's just use AI voices to do it. And it's not the same. It's quick, it's easy, but it's very impersonal.
And I don't care if they
it's not storytelling.
Well, and right, exactly. Some of the criticism is of the AI voices is that it doesn't sound real. It sounds generated because it is. It doesn't give you the personal touch. At the end of the day, let's say they perfect it in 10 years. It's still not a human being. Can we all get off of this crap about artificial intelligence should be doing everything? Read an article the other day, and I've seen this before. The problem in this world in 10 to 15 years isn't going to be the job market. It's going to be boredom, because no one's going to do anything. Everything's going to be replaced by something if we keep going down the same track. So, yeah, I thought that was a brilliant point by the article that I was reading. And this particular gentleman said, the problem is going to be boredom. Because if you replace everything in your life with something that can be replaced in terms of robots and AI, what are you going to do? Oh, you'll have more time for that. No, human beings are designed to be moving. That's the way we were created. We need to be moving. We need to be active. So, man,
unless you're out on your boat,
really
getting more time to your boat.
Huh?
Unless you get more time on your boat.
You know what? Even then, right? I mean, you can only spend so much time on a boat. You can only spend so much time golfing. Oh, I can spend plenty of time golfing. You can only spend so much time sitting around on your stupid couch watching TV or playing dumb games, for that matter. But yeah, I digress.
All right. Well, everybody that's stuck around an hour and a half into this, thank you guys. So let's talk about week's Mike. Thanksgiving week. What are you guys' big plans? Thanksgiving.
Since I've been off the road in terms of my own personal sales territory the last couple of weeks, as I've been working trade shows both in Las Vegas and Connecticut, I got to hit the road hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. So, and then Thanksgiving, Friday is the Ward tradition Christmas decoration day. Saturday is Michigan, Ohio State. It's Captain Strahler's home. Sunday might be a recovery day from the previous 4, but nonetheless.
It's a busy week for us. We're having everyone over here at Kathy's family. My dad's coming over, Stan, and we're going to enjoy the day and enjoy from there. Guys, just a reminder, this week we will have another UFP Media's high school finals roundup. So we're going to have a preview show. We're not sure the day yet. We'll let you know ahead of time. But go out and enjoy some high school football. Go out and enjoy some other football there. Don't use AI. And guys, have a happy Thanksgiving. Great seeing everybody, and have a great week.
Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your time with your family. And yes, don't use AI.